It was reported by Diski Times that Kaizer Chiefs were aiming to sign a goalkeeper. They've signed Fiacre Ntwari, a left back. They've signed Bongani Sam. And when he got injured, they signed Rashun Totli, who I think they were going to sign anyways. And it was also reported that they were going to sign a striker. Now, there has been a change there, and I will explain what changed that whole situation. Have a flu? Let's get to it. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. So everything that the journalists or the reliable journalists have reported, let's give them a shout out. Abo Mazola, Abo Mtokozi Sidube, Abo Lorenz, Abo Unplayable, Abo Farpost, all those guys have been doing a good job. Yes, they miss here and there, but let's give them a break. Now, for starters, Lorenz reported the Chiefs wanted a left back, a goalkeeper, and a striker, right? And then Umtokozi Sidube now report. Oh, I think it was Umazola who then reported that the coach would be given freedom to get the players that he wants. And as you can see, Chiefs only started signing players after the coach or the technical team or some people in the technical team arrived, right? So we know that this is the coach's doing, everyone who's coming to the club. But one detail that I think has changed everything with Kaizer Chiefs and their approach in this transfer window is Ashley Dupree. There were talks that he was wanted in, what's the name of this country? Is it Portugal? Yeah, was wanted in Portugal, but he ended up not going there. And a story that is weird that people are changing a lot is that when the team was leaving on a Thursday, leaving to Turkey, he did not go with them. The initial report was that he was injured. And then he ended up joining the team on a Sunday. And then people started saying, no, it wasn't an injury. It was a problem with his passport or his visa, not his passport. I find plot holes in the story because you can't be reporting injuries and then it's a visa. You know, it's too many things going on. And if they could fix the visa, God to pre, why couldn't they fix the visa of the other guy? I think it's this boy who's currently playing in the development team now because apparently had a visa problem. So how come they fixed one and they couldn't fix the other if there was a special thing that they had to do at the embassy? So I don't buy that it was an injury. I also don't buy that there was a visa problem, which means the plan for Kaizer Chiefs was to sell Ashley Dupree. They ended up not doing it, or maybe not coming to an agreement with the other team. So he stays put. And the moment Ashley Dupree stays put, that puts Nazruddin Nabi and his technical team in a good position, if you think about it, because now that means you now have a striker in Dupree, who I believe is better as a winger, but if they think he's a striker, yeah, good for them. But at the same time, he can also play as a winger. So now you have Oranga, you have Utuba, and you have Dupree. So 3 strikers, you are sorted in that position. And now these things that had been skipped, that we're not talking about anymore, like are we signing a winger, started coming back up again. And the biggest of them all was Elias Mkwana. And currently, indaba Elias Mkwana goes like this. Esperance approaches Sekhukhune, and Sekhukhune and Esperance agree on terms to sell the player, but the player doesn't want to go. That's what is being reported right now, that Elias Mkwana wants to stay in South Africa, and specifically the team is Kaizer Chiefs. And the Sowetan are reporting that Kaizer Chiefs is expected to make an improved offer for Elias Mkwana, which means or clearly indicates that now Kaizer Chiefs are just targeting to sign a winger. And I'm saying a winger because the other winger is Asanele Velepai from Cape Town Spurs. Now, obviously, in my thing is, I'm not sure whether they want to do both of these deals or they want to do one of these deals, because in any case, if you're bringing on Velepai, he's a prospect. He's not a player who's going to come in and start playing immediately. But if you're bringing Umokwana, he's one who's probably going to come in, either compete on the right and take that position from Saile, or on the left take that position from Moti. If he's not that great or better than them, then he starts from the bench but tries to make an impact when he does come on. And I think that I find this very reasonable for Kaizer Chiefs or by Kaizer Chiefs, because I think it's fair, guys, for us to sit down and and give the team their flowers, like if they're doing well. Because this is one of the things that we've not done in recent seasons. What we've done in previous seasons is we just sign 5 players in one position. They are the same type. They do the same thing. You know, a player like Umart, when he was signed, I'm not saying he's bad. He's an 8, right? But in that very same season, 8, 6, I feel more like he's an 8 or supposed to be an 8 under good coaching and Bell. And at the same time, we signed, or the following season, we signed Castillo, right? Who's also an 8. A slightly different profile of a player because he also brings physicality, and Castillo is more of let's go forward. Umar can control a game if he's doing well. Like we say Kukune, that's what he did. Tungi ball, pass the ball, collect, pass the ball, move, pass the ball, move. That's what he can do very well. But Kaizer Chiefs has not been given an opportunity to do that. And then they go ahead and they sign Ustebe, who they wanted, or initially from Amazulu, was a 10. But Gui Chiefs, all of a sudden, some Chiefs players, fans, still believe, honestly, that Temba Stebe is actually a 6, which he's not. He's left Kaizer Chiefs, but people still believe he's a 6. But he was played as a 6. He is not a 6. For Amazulu, he played as a 10. Go watch a video when it was linked. I think it's like 800 videos ago. I was saying Ustebe is a 10, and he was a 10 for Amazulu. Comes with Chiefs, he plays as a 6. And all of these things was messing up the system of Chiefs and how we're buying players, because we're just buying players because they're available. And we end up either one, changing their positions and playing them out of positions, or we end up having way too many players in one position, and no one in the rest of the positions. For example, as I'm saying, Mart is signed as an 8. Eventually, Nayaban believe now there is a 6. Stebe is signed as a 10, but people believe there is a 6 because he was being forced to play in that position. You're not going to get the best out of him. At the time, we did not have a defensive midfielder. And last season, when they've now made Mart no Stebe play as 6s, and on top of that, they sign Castillo, who they then make play as a 6, they then go ahead and they buy Umteto and they also play him as a 6. Now you have a competition of 4 players, 5 ngozwane, all playing as abo number 6 because that's who you've made them to be. And all of a sudden you are oversaturated in one position, such that in some days you even just play them all together at the same time and they're same profile, because now that's what you have trained them and that's what you expect from them. But now we can clearly see that these things are now done strategically in such a way that I'm bringing in a winger, right? A right winger, I'm bringing in a left winger. Each squad must have balance. You can't have 5 players there, 1 player here. There must be balance, and I feel like Unazrat Nabi and his crew and his technical team, that's what they're doing well. And I think that if we continue like that and the management continues giving them all the tools that they want, I think that the Chiefs will really be going places in the next season. And another thing that I saw today is another interview by Dominic Isaacs, and he says that Chiefs are doing a good job. He thinks the technical team is good, but he says he's worried about the fact that it's only coaches from the outside. And I voiced my worry. I won't say it's a straight out worry about this, because he says that if they do get fired, God forbid, if they do get fired, then who's going to know what was happening? Because there's no one. Now, he's not arguing that there should be a local coach to teach them culture. No, he's now just saying if they get fired, who's going to pick up the slack? Because no one from the South African or local technical team can take over and like pass it to the next people. And to me, I'm like, okay, I get the argument if they don't do well, but I also think that giving all this freedom to Nasruddin Nabi, allowing him to have his own technical team, is also a vote of confidence to the technical team, right? So if you let Nasruddin Nabi take all the people that he said he wants and brings them with him, right? If he has his own technical team, own goalkeeper coach, own assistant or whatever, everyone that he brought, he knows that the team is trusting in him. There's no one who's going to be suspected of sabotaging him. It's just him and the people that he selected, the people that he trusts. It makes it easy for him to say, I know that this team trusts me, and given the fact that they are allowing him to make the signings that he wants, which is something that is or has been unheard of at Kaizer Chiefs, it clearly says to him as a coach, you are trusted and you can do whatever that you want. You are responsible for picking up the team. You are responsible for everything that you do. Guys, for the first time in the past 3 seasons, I've seen Umshini looking like a footballer. Lo mchita ubesekeni weight all of the time manje. He's fatty, he's just out of shape. But now, look at these training videos. He looks fit, he looks like a footballer, he looks ready. Under these other coaches, he was just gaining weight and it didn't matter because it's like, there are no consequences here. I can do whatever I want anyway. And I'm not saying he was consciously doing that. I believe that subconsciously it was there with, what's happening here? And then they just let themselves go. But if you are playing under a proper coach who's putting you into work, you're never going to gain weight. And that's exactly what I think is going to be happening at Kaizer Chiefs. But what do you guys think about this whole thing of I have a succession plan in case, God forbid, the worst happens and we have to fire Nazareth Nabi? Do let me know down in the comment section below, and subscribe if you are new, like the video, and check out these videos from my other channel. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, Ikos, Alpelumoy.